on Thursday night. Let's talk about them. October 31st. The first game is wow. This is really really bad. The Grizzlies blew out the Bucks 122-99, and we gotta talk about Damian Lillard. What is going on with him? 4 points, 1 for 12. This is a good buy low, but just remember, Dame is not. He's not gonna be a top 10 player like he was in Portland. Is he gonna be a top 20 player? I don't know, on a per game basis. At this point, if his fantasy value in category leagues is mostly coming from the free throws. Yes, he shoots a lot of he makes some threes. Yeah, 23 points, 23, 24 points. That's also very good. He will give you some assist, 5, 6. But bulk of his value coming from his free throw. We know he doesn't get defensive stats. He's maybe a little bit high turnover. His field goal is a little bit suspect. So that's what he is. So when you go trade for him, don't throw him like a top 20 player or potential top 20 player. More like, maybe a top 50 player plus somebody. He's going to be better than this, but this is probably the lowest point. He's going to bounce back from this. But don't have high hopes for Damian Lillard, which is why like he's not somebody people draft in the end of first round or early second, right? More like toward the end of mid to late second round. He's also getting older. Gary Trent Jr., 18 minutes. If you need 3-cent steals, yeah. Bobby Portis, if you want to hold, that's also okay. If you need the rebounds and the field goal, but he doesn't really give you a lot outside of that. Brook Lopez, no block shots. He was a minus 35. Absolutely horrible. Giannis went off, but it doesn't really matter. 37 points, 11 rebounds. Giannis also, no, he doesn't have the best start of the season. And wow, I'm just looking at the rankings. Victor Wembanyama, 10th ranked player after last night's. That's how much one guy's ranking can jump just having one good game. That's for the full season. Yeah, just want to double check. Yeah, for the full season. It's only a very small sample size too. Torian Prince, he got 4 steals, so which is yeah. Delon Wright is somebody we should always monitor. If Damian Lillard is ever out, if Delon Wright gets 25 to 30 minutes, we can have him. He can get you 2.5 steals and 1 block in a week. It just literally help you win. So those are the guys we gotta pay attention. For the Grizzlies, yeah, Marcus Smart is out again, but Scottie Pippen Jr. We gotta pick him up. It's not he's not playing 30 minutes, but he's doing just enough, and he is so good. He's such a good fantasy basketball player. I mean, I guess in real life too, because they give him minutes. He does everything: assists, steals, defensive set, just like his dad, I guess. Really good. So if he's out there on the waiver wire, let's go pick him up. Ja Morant, big game in just 29 minutes. I would also trade for Ja Morant if he plays well. For a couple of reasons. One reason is he's not getting big minutes this year, which means there's gonna be a ceiling, and they're being careful with him because he gets injured every single year. Same thing with Jaren Jackson Jr. He's also really bad to start off the season, but if he start blocking 5 shots a game, I would also try to trade him. Um, Try to sell high. Ja Morant has a big name, but what a lot of people don't know is his minutes has been down this year, and it could be a trend moving forward. Jalen Wells, out of nowhere, played 35 minutes. I don't know if he's a good fantasy player, but Santi Aldama, I know he put up numbers. So I think as long as Marcus Smart is out, we could go with him. He's actually putting up decent numbers, to be honest. Better than Jerry Jackson Jr. Aldama, he's a 74th ranked player. I think that's good enough for us to have him. Moving on to the next game, the Houston Rockets beat the Mavs this year. Even though they made the finals last year, how good are they? Fred VanVleet played 39 minutes. Oh my God. Also a buy low. I mean, he's gonna be better than this. One worry is, the minutes is really really good, but are we gonna have a situation where his minutes drop as we get to the end of the season? Because the Rockets got so many good players, so something to monitor for now for sure. A buy low. Fred VanVleet is very very solid. He's gonna have games like this. He does this every year, because if he doesn't get the steals or the blocks, right, he doesn't score a lot of points. So if he has a bad shooting night, he's gonna give you 4 points. Jalen Green, meanwhile, I think he's a sell high, But you know, depend on what your team needs and what kind of player you're gonna get back from him. He could be a you know top 50 player. Um, but what category does he give you? He give you a lot of points. He give you a lot of threes. Everything else, I don't know. He had 12 rebounds. That's not gonna happen all that often. He doesn't give you a lot of assists. I don't think on this team. Can he get a lot of defensive stats? I don't know. So it's mainly points and threes. If your team don't need that, if your team need efficiency and less turnovers, definitely try to trade him for somebody. And Pro Shangun, his efficiency is just really horrible. He has good usage. I think he's just shooting Shangun. He's averaging 15 points on the season. I kind of expect him to have 20 points, um, because he's shooting 37% from the field. I don't really know. He's shooting 15 shots a game. That's actually a lot. 15 field goals, that should give you 20 points, depending on how many free throws. He goes to the line 5 times, shooting 72%. He's not the best free throw shooter, so you kind of have to live with that. The assists maybe go up a little bit, but steals and blocks, they look fine. Maybe blocks can be a little bit higher. So I think there's still room for Shengun to improve. Just a weird start to the season, shooting 37% as a center. That is weird. Dylan Brooks played 40 minutes. Wow, big minutes. So that means all the bench players, they're not really getting a lot of minutes. Drop everybody if you have any Rocket players. Though if they have a back-to-back, if you need rebound and steals, Taro Eason could always be a good option. For the Dallas Mavericks, another loss. Luka is not good this year to start off the season in fantasy. Maybe he's just pacing himself. Totally understand. That's actually a sign of a great player, in my opinion. To start off the season, first month, people are going off. Those are usually Mickey Mouse players. If you're an MVP, or like you're trying to go for MVP, right? But Luka, yeah, I don't know. He's dealing some type of injury, but he's just nowhere close. He only 2 assists here. Kyrie Irving just played really good. No defensive stats, but super efficient. 5 threes, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively, at this point, are they must-roster players? Maybe they are if you need the blocks, but they just don't do anything else. Seriously, they don't really do anything else. PJ Washington, big game actually. 3 steals and 3 blocks, 9 rebounds. I will always try to sell PJ Washington high because he's just super inconsistent. Klay Thompson had 2 threes, 12 points. Pretty mediocre. Moving on to the next game, the Spurs finally got a good win over the Jazz. The Jazz has not won a game yet. And Wemby, I know he played last night. He had a shit game. How about this game? 25 points, 4 threes, 9 rebounds, 7 assists, 5 steals, and 5 blocks. You just got to wait for Wemby to play some bad teams. He's going to put up crazy numbers. I know they play like Mavericks, who's a good defensive team. They're not really going to give him, like on defense, he's not really going to have a lot of opportunity because they're going to pull him away from, Luka or whatever, right? Or Kyrie. He doesn't have a lot of opportunity to block shots. But when you play a bad team like the Jazz, who don't know what they're doing, this is easy. 5 steals and 5 blocks. This is easy. So just on your calendar, see what team they're playing. Expect big games from Wemby whenever that happens. Julian Champagne, yeah. The rest of the guys, Chris Paul, 19 points, 10 assists, and 2 steals and 3 threes. I would always try to sell Chris Paul high as well. They give him 32 minutes. Toward the end of the season, they are going to reduce his minutes. They're going to play some random guys. He might sit out as well. I would trade pretty other than Wembanyama, everybody else on the Spurs, for sure, I'll look to trade if they have a good stretch. For the Jazz, though, oh my God, they're pretty bad. And Keontae George, 7 turnovers. He also had 7 turnovers earlier this week. Well, not earlier this week. He's been turning them over like crazy. Is he ranked? He's not ranked inside 200. You do not drop him. You do not drop him, obviously. If your team need efficiency or turnover, you look to trading. But he should still give you good points, assists, and threes. But let's see how the season goes. He could for sure. Like these type of players, you don't drop them at the beginning of the season. You can drop them when you get into the playoffs. But these type of players, they have some upside. If the player has upside, you just don't drop them beginning of the season. Versus like, I'm trying to think of a different player. that just like Santi Aldama, probably no upside throughout the season, right? That you feel a lot more comfortable dropping, even though let's say they're not producing beginning of the season. Jordan, yeah, actually, perfect example. Jordan Clarkson, you could drop him and feel good. I just don't see him. He's not the Jazz's future. They don't. Jordan Clarkson is not part of the plan. Same thing with Colin Sexton. I think Jazz. I don't know Cody Williams, these guys, but for sure they want to play these guys more. So those guys, if they struggle beginning of the season, let's say they're getting 30 minutes, you want to hold them. Walker Kessler, the minutes is good, so can't complain too much. And still 11 rebounds, 3 blocks, did what he needs to do, so that's good. But on this team, another worry is, Laurie Markkinen is also out. Are they going to play their players as we get to the end of the season? Especially the veteran players. Yeah. Just like John Collins, if you have John Collins, if he plays well, I'll absolutely try to train him. Same thing with Jordan Clarkson and Colin Sexton. Put them in a 2-for-1. The last game of the night is the Phoenix Suns beat the Clippers. Okay, good win for the Suns. They kind of choked. I remember the first game they lost to the Lakers. They were up big. And Tyus Jones, he's kind of thriving in this Phoenix, on this team. Really good minutes, 33 minutes, 11 assists. That means he's taking some of the assists away from KD, from Bradley Beal, from Devin Booker. He's going to be really good rest of the way, I feel. 11 assists is really good. He's going to give you really good assists and steals and some threes. Devin Booker, 40 points. Big game from him. 8 assists and 3 steals, 5 threes. Best game of the season for him so far. And KD, this is the problem. When Booker plays well, goes off, KD's not going to really get that many shots. He still, I guess, took 13 field goals. And this game, they don't even have Bradley Beal. That's the problem. Because they got so much firepower. There'll be games KD doesn't do much. And there'll be games Booker doesn't do much. Maybe that's good. Then they can play more games overall. We'll see. Yusuf Nurkic, is he a must roster? I don't think so. He has no upside. I would drop him if I don't need rebounds. Ryan Dunn is interesting. He's a good 3-point shooter. I know Bradley Beal is out. And I know they also have Grayson Allen, who only played 18 minutes. If Ryan Dunn gets a lot of minutes, you could definitely stream him for points and threes and efficiency. And maybe let's see how much defensive stats he could get. But his role on this team is pretty simple: 3 and D. There are a lot of guys in the league like that, so it can get you threes and defensive stats. For the Clippers, James Harden is putting up big numbers. 25 points, 10 assists, 13 rebounds, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. I think with Harden, he's gonna have good value the rest of the way, but can he stay healthy? He's 34, 35 years old. They're playing him a lot of minutes, so we'll see. Really good start off the season. Zubac, I want to say a sell high, but it depends on what you can get back. But I feel like he's gonna eat rest of the way. 35 minutes, 22 points, 22 rebounds. But again, in category leagues, what does Zubac really give you? He doesn't give you huge blocks. So his counting numbers look really nice. So maybe some people in your category leagues, they overvalue him because he's averaging 20 and 10 right now. If you can get him plus somebody, get like a top 20, top 10 player, you should do it. Because, he's also give you a lot of field goal, actually, 9 for 10. That's also big. And he's not a bad free throw shooter. But, just something to think about, how valuable. Like, his numbers look really nice, but in category leagues, maybe not as much. Norman Powell also, he's eating pretty good. 23 points, 4 threes. But Norman Powell is the type of player I would definitely try to trade. Because when he's playing well, his numbers look really nice. But in fantasy, he's, he only really contributes to 2 categories, right? Points and threes. So, I'll try to trade him. Terrence Mann and Derrick Jones, those guys, they don't really put up in. Derrick Jones Jr., you can stream him for defensive stats. That's really about it. That's it, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.